This started. All right. Good evening. This is Scott Lobenthal with Hang Tough. This is our second to last Chalk Talks of the season, and we have special guest Monica Abbott with us tonight, which is, fantastic. She's accomplished more than probably any other pitcher in softball, in my opinion. So just looking at, all the things that you've done throughout your career. I know the girls are excited to have you on tonight as well. Just kind of want to run through a brief, just a brief intro, and then we're going to turn it over to Monica. This is she's going to kind of walk through her workbook, the Monica's or Abbott's A List, and that's the book that we've been talking about with our players over the last month. And then we're going to have them actually, fill out, those lists and do it after tonight, getting more information, kind of, the details from you, which is great. So Monica, she played for the University of Tennessee, All-American player. She, I'm going through here. Let me see. University of Tennessee. She also led the NCAA Division I. She was the Division I leader in wins, strikeouts, shutouts, and innings pitched, which is, phenomenal. She also, I believe, it's a tied record, right? Like there was a player recently that tied your fastest pitch speed.
Yes. So recently, Carlin Pickens, actually from Tennessee, which is incredible. She tied my Guinness Book of World Records that I hold at 77 miles an hour.
Yeah, I can't even imagine seeing a 77-mile-an-hour pitch.
I know. Do you drive that fast on the highway, Scott? Or are you going faster? Just kidding.
And you went on to pitch at NPF and also in the Japan Softball League, which we've had a few players come on that have done that as well, which is a really cool experience. And, I heard softball is really big in Japan. And then obviously you've gone on to, play for the Olympic team. You're a medalist, as well as, being an ESPN analyst as well.
That's right.
So,
well, thank you
cool.
so much. Yeah.
Yep.
What's going on? Hang tough. This is Monica. It's really happy to be here with you guys. Wow, yes, so many things. It's so interesting to hear back some of the things and the accolades or things that happened over your career, because I think ultimately as athletes, we don't necessarily go out saying like, I want to break this record, or I want to be an All-American, or I want to do this. You set these goals and you set big goals, right? Like, and wishes like, hey, I want to win the championship. I want my team, I want to throw a perfect game. But in the day-to-day grind, our focus isn't necessarily that. It's on the little things that make us be successful. And so recently, hold on one second, if you can hear my dog barking. Sorry. So you focus on just the day-to-day. And so recently I wrote like a biography about my career, because I felt like it was such this incredible story, right? Like how did I make it? Why did I make it? And then I got done with it and I was like, holy cow, like we have this motivational story. Everyone's all motivated and inspired to play. We're feeling good. We're setting goals. We're going out there working hard. We're finding a way. And I was like, I need to give them the how-to. Like every athlete, every professional athlete, every elite athlete, they have a process, right? They have something that they do that makes them unique. They have something in the way that they train, in the way that they think, in the way that they feel, that makes them unique. And if they're able to harness that, it can take up to the next level and open up an entire new world for them. So after I wrote the inspirational story, I decided I'm going to write Abbott's A List, which is right here. And it's a mental training and confidence building workbook that takes you through what I believe are the 14 sort of steps or actions that helped me be successful on the softball field, helped me, go from 70 to 72 to 73 to 75 to 77 miles an hour, right? Because that doesn't happen overnight. You know, how do you go from 57 to 60? And it's not just like pitch more, right? Like it's not just do this more, okay? Like, so going through that process. Okay, so tonight, I'm gonna take you through a couple of my favorite pointers in Abbott's A-List, and then we can open it up for questions, okay? Y'all good with that? Give me a thumbs up if you're alive. Yep, thank you. Okay, all right, so number one, right, you guys have probably gone over this and you've heard it before, but set goals to reach your dreams, okay? So now this is a true story, so I'm going to read you the first couple sentences, and it says, when I was 12 years old, we got any 12-year-olds out there? When I was 12 years old, I had a school project, and I wrote down in the school project, I will see you at the Olympics, standing on the mound, pitching. Right? Like, pretty cool. Pretty cool when you think about it and you look back now, right? What's even crazier, ladies, is that at that point, I had only pitched for a month. 1 month. I had just started pitching. Now, that's a pretty big, crazy, wild dream for a beginner. And the bigger you dream, the harder it can seem to come true. But maybe it's not that far off if you break it down into smaller goals. Goals for the year, goals for the month, goals for a season. And if you do that, you just might be able to make it come true. So I kind of walk you through how to do it. But what I did basically was I said, hey, I'm going to have the big, crazy, wild dream. And at 12 years old, it was to make the Olympics. I obviously didn't make the Olympic team at 12, but I also wrote down on there, hey, I want to be able to make all-stars. I want to go to nationals. I want to throw a perfect game. I want to win this big tournament. Whatever these things are, whatever your big goal as a team is, right? Like writing that down on your individual goal list is super important. And then underneath your big, crazy, wild dream, because we got to have it. You guys got to have the big, crazy, wild, untouchable, unbelievable dream, right? Like, because you never know if it just might come true, right? Because what did I say? 12 years old, I wrote it down in my school project. My school project, I wrote, I will see you at the Olympics standing on the mound pitching. Like, that's a true story, right? Like, and then 10 years later, I end up actually standing on the mound pitching at the Olympic Games. So you have to have the big, crazy, wild dream. And you guys write it down, because writing it down is so powerful, okay? And then you got to have your goals that maybe are for your team, like let's go to nationals, let's win this tournament, okay? And then maybe your individual goals, like I want to hit a home run this year. If I do anything, I want to be able to hit a home run. Well, how? Okay, so that's the next step to achieve the goal. And for each of my goals, my individual team goals, I was like, okay, what can I do? What can I do to make it successful? And I want to hit a home run this year. Okay, I'm going to I'm going to hit off the tee at home for 10 minutes. Okay, I want to go to the cages once a week. Okay, so setting little goals like that, and even breaking it down of I want to hit the changeup better. Okay, I want to hit the outside pitch better. Things like that are going to help you achieve your goals. So when you think about the big, crazy, wild dreams, I want you to go wild, right? Like get wild, 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 get crazy. Like what is it? What is the impossible? What is the unachievable? What seems so far away that it can't happen? Okay? And use that as fire, right? Use that as passion. Okay? Use that to harness your competitiveness, okay? In all of your dreams and goals, okay? So that's number one, which is Like I said, set goals early to reach your dreams. Okay, you guys doing good? Make sure I see the ones that are on. Okay. Okay, let's move on. You guys ready for my second one that I want to go over? All right, the second one that I want to talk to you is number 4 in the book, okay? And it's called Develop a Routine. Okay, how many of you guys know what a routine is? Good, good, good. How many of you guys actually do it all the time? And it doesn't change, right? A routine is a sequence of actions you follow regularly. And a solid routine, listen carefully, will create confidence. Inside of a routine, there is greatness, there is comfort, and more importantly than comfort, routines create self-confidence. That confidence will help you be consistent, okay? Now, I know you all have a little bit of a routine, but you got to have it. The hardest part about a routine is making sure it's the same thing every time, right? That you're consistent, whether it's game 1, whether it's game 10, whether it's game 3, okay? On Saturday. You got to make sure that it's consistent. And then also that what you do is consistent, okay? And you might be thinking, well, why does it have to be the same all the time? Why? And I'll tell you what, softball is hard, okay? Hitting's hard, pitching is hard, defense can be really hard. But when you have a consistent routine, it helps you feel what? It helps you feel prepared, right? It helps you feel ready. It helps you feel confident, okay? Because it eliminates 1 or 2 things that you have to think about. And now you can just focus on the thing that feels natural, okay? So I'm not talking about the routine of let's put on my left cleat first and then my right cleat. This is what are you doing in the batter's box between pitches? This is what are you doing between pitches? Okay. And I can tell you that as your routine gets really good and really consistent, it helps calm those nerves. How many of you guys have ever been nervous, right? Like, oh my gosh, the bases are loaded. I'm up to bat. Okay, it's a 0-0 ball game. There's a runner on third. There's 2 outs. I gotta get this girl out, right? I gotta pitch a good pitch, right? When our heart's racing, beating so fast. When I'm in my routine, it helps calm me, right? It helps me feel confident. It helps calm those nerves, okay? Does that make sense? All right, so when you guys are writing about your routine, I want you to think about the different types of routines that you have, okay? So there's a couple of different types of routines and they don't all have to be the same, okay? So I want you to think about your everyday routine, okay? Your pregame, like what are you doing before the game? And then, so your everyday routine is like, okay, I do this every time I'm up to bat, right? Okay, I touch my helmet, I play with the dirt, left foot, right foot, fake swing, now I'm ready, okay? Right? Brush off the mound, stand on the mound, take a deep breath, get my sign, okay? So that's your everyday routine between each pitch when you're hitting or when you're pitching, okay? And then I want you to think of something that is like your pregame routine, okay? The first inning, right? We're all nervous, we're all hyped up, ready to play. What are we doing as a team? What am I doing as an individual to help me be successful? And then lastly, and most importantly, and probably, honestly, probably the hardest one is going to be the reset routine, okay? How many of you guys have ever made an error? How many of the error cost you a win in the game? Don't look. Everybody close your eyes. Don't look. Just raise your hand. Okay, yeah, me too, right? Does that suck or what? Like the worst feeling in the world? Yes, absolutely. I hate it, right? Like major boo. Okay, totally makes me feel the worst. But mistakes happen, right? not only mistakes happen, but sometimes just things don't go your way, right? The umpire calls a strike that you don't like, or they're getting lots of hit as a pitcher, they're getting lots of hits, and then you're kind of flustered or like getting frustrated. How many of you got frustrated, right? So in those situations, when we start to feel the frustration building, it's really important to have a reset routine, okay? Now your reset routine can be something, it's very powerful, but it has to be something different from my everyday routine, okay? My everyday routine between pitches, just between pitches as a pitcher or as a hitter, okay? It has to be something different. So is it that all of a sudden I'm up to bat and I just like squeeze the bat really hard and then take a deep breath to help cure my frustration, right? Is it as a pitcher, you swing your arms back and forth because you're frustrated, kind of shake it off, shake it out a little bit before you start? Okay, and it has, so when we do a reset routine, it needs to be something short and it needs to be something simple, okay? Because we don't want our frustrations to get the best of us. So after we do our reset routine and we shake it off, okay, brush off the mound, stand on, deep breath, get my sign, okay? And the reset routine starts us back into our everyday routine, okay? And that helps make a difference in our confidence and our refocus, right? Recentering ourselves, telling us, hey, like we still have a chance, right? Because if you're doing the reset routine, is it 3 outs in the 7th inning? No, right? You're still in the middle of the game, so there's still a chance for you to come back. There's still a chance for you to make a great play. There's still a chance for your team to win. There's still a chance for something good to happen, okay? So it's a chance for you to reset your emotions and your mindset, okay? Now, let me tell you, I do want to say one thing, and this is probably more for the adults than the coaches, is that when you do your reset routine, remember, you can't do it all the time, right? You got to do it when you need to reset. Because if we start doing it every time something happens, it loses its power, right? It loses the value, okay? So it has to be when we're frustrated. It has to be when we're giving up the hits or there's errors, okay? It can't just be because, oh, I gave up 1 hit. Okay, so don't lose the value of the reset by doing it all the time. Okay, got it? Okay, that's on routine. Okay, let's keep it going here. Hopefully you guys are liking this so far. Drink of water. Okay. All right, and then now the last one that I want to talk to you about is number 5. Okay, and says be great at something. Okay, be great at something. A lot of times we talk about being really good at things, but I want to tell you, don't be afraid to be great at something. And sometimes we can become good at something, then we immediately switch and we try to do something else and make it good. So you end up with a bunch of good things, but nothing that's great. In sports, it's important to have something that can define you or be your signature, right? Something that can set you apart, something that is better than good, something that makes you great and makes you you. All right, so how many of you guys have something that you can think about that you're really, really good at? Okay, I'm going to give you some examples. It can be, and you'll see it in softball, right? We see it all the time when we watch softball on TV. It can be base running, right? It can be a rise ball. It can be a changeup. It can be a backhand. It can be bunting. It can be power hitting. It can be hitting to opposite field. Hey, I'm really good when runners are on base at hitting. Hey, I'm really good at getting on base. I'm really good at being the person on base, right? Okay, so there's so many options for us as athletes, especially in the game, right? In this game. And I want you guys to think about what you're good at, and then how can you dive all the way in? Like, how can you go all in and be like, okay, I'm not going to be good at this. I'm going to be great at it. I'm going to make sure that when I practice those backhands, when I practice bunting, the one thing that I'm good at, I do it every single time. I'm 10 out of 10, 100% on this. I know I might struggle with something else. I know I might struggle throwing a drop ball. I know I might struggle throwing a screwball. But I tell you what, my curveball, 10 out of 10 every single time. Okay? And instead of trying to go each practice focusing on like, hey, let's go focus on the other thing to make it good and forget about the thing that we're good at, keep focusing on the thing we're good at, right? Keep focusing on what it's going to take that curveball to the next level. Okay, can I throw a good curveball versus a power hitter versus a slapper versus, in a 0-0 count, in a 3-2 count? Okay, can I bunt a rise ball? Can I bunt an outside pitch? Can I bunt an inside pitch? Can I bunt a low pitch? Am I 10 for 10 on all of those? Okay, so take the thing you're good at and focus on it, okay? Focus on it still. Let your focus in your practices when those things come up be extra high level, right? Because when you take the thing you're good at and make it great, guess what happens? All of a sudden, my other pitches start to look good. All of a sudden, my curveball is so good that, well, my drop ball starts to look a little bit better somehow. I don't know, right? All of a sudden, I become a better hitter because I'm so good at bunting. So I'm telling you here, take it from me, okay? That you don't have to be good at everything. Focus on the things that you're good at and go make them great, okay? Because I tell you what, every professional softball player, Olympic softball player, and even your best and favorite college softball athletes, they all have something unique, right? Something that defines them, something that they're really, really good at. Okay, right? And you know it, right? Like you see them and you're like, wow, yep, she always hits home runs. Well, because she focuses on that, right? She took her good to make it great. Carlin Pickens, she throws 77 miles an hour, okay? What do you think she focuses on throwing slow? No, she focuses on throwing fast so she could keep raising her level, okay? So don't be afraid to focus on your good stuff. Dive all in and go make it great, okay? And then every other part of your game will rise, okay? So on this page in the workbook, you get to just brainstorm and write down a bunch of things that you're good at, right? And then below it, it talks about what are the things and how can I make them great? How can I take the things I'm good at and what can I do to make them even better? Okay, so these are the 3 things for Abbott's A-list that I marked off for you guys. There's 14 different ones tonight in the book, but obviously we don't have time to go over all of them tonight, but I just want to let you know, like, there's so many good ones and I really encourage you guys to go through them because they all at some point applied to not only myself, but I feel like multiple athletes on how they were able to continue to level up continue to develop and grow and be hungry to be a competitor, right? To be in the spotlight, to handle the nerves, to handle the failures, and to handle the successes. Okay, I think at this point we can open it up for questions. Is that good with you, Scott?
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect. Why don't you call them so Jen, I just don't so you kind of keep them in order.
Okay, girls. Stevie, you got your hand up.
Hi, my name's Stevie, and I was wondering in your senior year, or if you had one, how fast did you pitch then?
Not as fast as Carlin Pickens. Okay, so when I was a senior, I think I was being clocked around like 73 miles an hour consistently. And then as I went professional and I kept playing, I was like, okay, I could hit 74. And then I was like, okay, I wonder if I could hit 75. And so I just kept having this goal of, okay, actually, Stevie, my goal was to hit 80. That's
That's a
fast,
good
right?
goal. That's a
Yeah,
good
right.
goal.
Thank you. And I actually, unfortunately, I never reached it that I know of. I could have and not be clocked, but I never reached it that I know of. And the fast is I shot for the moon and I fell in the stars at 77. Right?
Ooh,
Big
that's
goals
still
and
a good spot to be.
yep, I agree. Thanks, Stevie.
Thank you for asking. Thank you for answering my
You're
question.
welcome.
All right, next on the list here, Kennedy.
Hi. How did you feel when you got the world record for fastest pitch?
Honestly, I was surprised. I had no idea. Kennedy, have you ever like done something really good and it like feels like supernatural and like it almost feels like nothing? Like
Yeah.
you hit a home run and it feels like you're just like nice and relaxed through the hit, like when you get a good hit. Or if you throw a really good pitch, it feels like smooth and doesn't hurt. It just feels like air almost.
Yeah. That
That's what 77 felt like. And we were in the middle of a game and it was, it was a close game. And I remember looking over because my teammates in the dugout, they were like on the fence. And I was like, what is going on? And then so the girl strikes out, ended up striking out. We come off the field and they're like patting me on the back. And I'm like, what? And they're like, you hit 77. You hit 77. We got a picture of it. It was on the scoreboard. Oh my gosh. So they were really excited. And I don't know if you've ever had that feeling, but when your teammates get excited, Kennedy, you know what? It makes you more excited, right? Like it makes you pumped up. Like it's such a good feeling to see your teammates excited. Yes.
yeah. Thank you for answering.
You're welcome.
All right, Kylie or Kyle.
As a pitcher, what would you like to say to your catcher?
What do I say I like to say to my catcher? I like to just, honestly, I see my catcher all the time, right? Because we practice the most together and we have lots of laughter together and we also have lots of like tough moments and fun together too. So whenever I see my catcher, I just want them, if they're calling timeout or if I'm struggling and they're like want to say something to me, I just want them to keep me calm and like just obviously reinforce like, hey, you can do this. I saw you do that. Like even saying something like, I saw you do this in practice like 10 times. Like let's do it. Let's do it this next inning. Like let's do it on the next pitch. So kind of pumping me up, but also building confidence too. I think it's also always good for a catcher to say something. Hey, don't forget, we got a bunch of good defense there. They're going to make the play behind you. Anything like that is always good too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up here, Vanessa.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. Has there ever been a time where like you were more proud that like you more proud than when you set a record, or like you made a game-winning catch or anything?
Like something that made me really proud.
Yeah, or like your team helped you win a really important game.
Yeah, I think you know, when I look at my career or when I think about softball, some of my proudest moments are definitely like the Olympic Games, like going to the Olympics and medaling. That's really powerful and also really hard to do. So it doesn't just take a good pitcher, it takes a good catcher, a good first baseman, second baseman, shortstop, you know, right field, left field, center, third, hitters, DPs, runners, like all of the things, right? Like you have to be good at everything. And so anytime I think about Team USA and just the process as an athlete to be on the Olympic team isn't easy. Like it's hard. It's a hard process to get to that level. And it's an even harder process to be able to like medal and compete in the Olympic Games. So I really think about like the team camaraderie and how important it is in our success.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Next up, Jacqueline.
So, when you would like strike out and like the hitting thing, what would you do to like calm yourself when you striked out?
Like after after something
Yeah.
bad happened. Well, I always say you can give yourself one moment, Jacqueline, one moment to be like mad or frustrated, right? Or upset inside the game, right? You can have like one short moment, like, oh, and stomp your foot, dang it, okay? Right? That's natural. You want to feel that's the emotion you feel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like just do it, dang it, and then move on, right?
Yeah.
So you had your moment, do your dang it. And then move on for the rest of the game. And then after the game, you know, you can talk about it with your coach, your parents, you can think about it, write it in your journal, look at video, you know, however you want to take some extra swings or anything like that, but you can have one moment. Okay? And if you have one moment, you can't take that moment with you, okay? So, do your dang it. Okay?
Thank you.
And then move on. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stevie has another question.
I was wondering, when you were my age, what was were you a pitcher, and what was your favorite pitch if you were?
When I first started pitching, my favorite pitch was a fastball.
Makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I think I just threw a lot of fastballs, and I just, or sometimes I like to say my favorite pitch is a strike when the umpire says strike.
Oh, true. I mean, that makes sense though.
Yeah,
Thank you for answering my question.
you're welcome.
I'll probably have another one.
All right, Kennedy.
Hi again. So why'd you pick the number 14?
Well, actually, good question. I was number 7 all the way growing up in like travel ball, high school, and then in college. But when I made the Team USA, there was an Olympian that was already number 7. And so then I doubled it and became number 14. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Malia?
Hi, I'm Malia, and I was wondering what your favorite walkout song you had was.
Ooh. Mm. Malia, that's a tough question. It's tough because as a pitcher, you don't really get a walkout song. They'll like play something, but usually people are talking over it.
Or what's your favorite song, I would say.
I think
Then.
that I did like Calvin Harris, maybe.
Thank you for answering.
You're welcome.
Stacia, Coach Stacia.
Hi. I've had the opportunity to watch you for a lot of years. I've got to watch you in person. Who is your biggest influencer growing up?
Gosh, Stacia. My biggest influencer growing up, I would say like at a young age when I was in club ball and stuff like that, probably young age, my parents, right? And then as I got into club and 16s and 18s, probably more my travel ball coach, my travel ball head coach. And then from the softball side, I really enjoyed like Lisa Fernandez and Michelle Granger. They're both pitchers for Team USA.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, Stevie. Stevie has another question.
Before you retired, what was your most used pitch? Like what was your favorite and how much did you do it?
My favorite pitch, Stevie, the pitch that I was known for and that made me really successful was my rise ball.
Rise ball?
Yep. And then I also had a really good curveball and a pretty good changeup. But my favorite thing to throw, Stevie, is strike 3.
Thank you for answering my question.
You're welcome.
Jacqueline.
Hi again. What was your favorite snack to eat in the dugout?
Ooh, I don't think I really, well, I don't think I really ate snacks, but I could kill some Gatorade. I really like sports drinks.
Me too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Vanessa.
Do you have like a good luck charm like before your games?
I never step on the chalk line going out to the mound.
Okay. Or yeah. Okay.
Is that a superstition or a good luck charm? I'm not sure which
Yeah,
one, but it probably doubles as
like-
both, I think.
Like a good luck charm, or like maybe a routine you do just before they give you good luck. Like maybe you have like a lucky stone and you put it in your shoe or something.
Nope, I don't have that. I don't have a
Okay.
but it sounds cool. I kind of want one.
Kelly.
Hi, when you were younger, what softball did you play for?
I played for the organization called the Storm.
Thank you for answering my question.
Where are you originally from, Monica?
I am from Salinas, California. It's in Northern California. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of great travel softball teams in California.
Yes. But there's
Nick.
a lot of good ones across the country these days.
Yep, that's very true.
How old were you when you first started playing softball?
Did you play rec? Yeah, right? Like I played rec ball and then so I don't know, like 5, 6, 7 in there. And then I started pitching it when I was older.
Thank you.
All right. And Chrislyn?
What was your biggest inspiration to write A-List?
Crystalline, I wrote A-List because I felt like I had this good story, and like I think that I had a pretty incredible softball career and all the things that I was able to do. And I had gone around to so many different places teaching and coaching clinics, and I kept thinking, like, how can I help the athletes more? How can I help the girls more? And I think it's hard to train your heart, it's hard to train your mind, right? And your frustrations and things that happen in the game that aren't physical, right? So, and I said, you know what? I was pretty good at managing all that, and I learned a lot throughout my career, and at different times, different things affected me. Okay, so I was like, I'm gonna put it in a book and make it cool, and then so then everyone can kind of like have a model, right? Like, and apply it to themselves and how they play.
Thank you.
I've got a question for you before we keep. I know a couple of the girls have some additional questions, but I wanted to ask you, since we have so many young players on right now, I think there's 10U through 18U on the call, but especially with the younger girls, and I mean, I know the older ones probably have the same similar challenges, but overcoming failure, you know,
Yeah.
you run into those obstacles and challenges during the game, and trying to bridge the gap with, you know, mental toughness and confidence to get over that hump. What were the things that worked best for you? Like, say, if you're having a bad day, you know, how did you stay focused on it and flush the mistakes to, you know, that memory of a goldfish for 3 seconds, and now let's move on and focus on the next challenge?
Right. I think when I was speaking to Jacqueline, I kind of said it best, is like, you know, I think it's okay to have a moment, right? Like one single moment, one single action that, like, you know, you can't throw your helmet across the dugout. That's not allowed, right? But can you stomp your foot? Can you clench your fists? Like, you know, and then take a breath and reset, right? And I think doing those little things are really powerful to be able to reset. Because in softball, sometimes, you know, a coach is going to say, oh, shake it off, next pitch, right? And that's good and it makes sense. But at the same time, the world doesn't work that way. That's hard, right? I think the better thing is that, hey, focus on it now, and then create like an environment of, we're going to talk about it after the game. Let's discuss it at the next practice. Better yet, let's work on it at the next practice. Because I know you as an athlete are going to go home and think about it after the game. You're going to probably talk about it with your parents on the car ride home, right? So let's talk about it as a team. Let's put it out there and see what we can do to improve on it. Okay. So the next time it happens, we're better. You know, softball is emotional, right? Right, coach? Like it's an emotional game. Like there's highs and there's lows. And sometimes it's frustrating and makes you want to cry. Who's cried in a game? Maybe once or twice, right? Like
This coach.
Right? Yep. Exactly. We've all had, and it's because, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Okay. Like it's important to see the passion and the love for the game, but it is when it takes over. Okay. So that's why I say, take the moment, take the one moment. What is the frustration thing that you're going to do? Is it squeeze your fist? Is it pound your glove? Stomp your foot once or twice? Right? And then move on. because we're going to put it in our back pocket. We're going to put it on the bookshelf. Okay. And we're going to come back to it and we're going to figure out not what we did wrong, but how we can get better, how we can improve when that situation happens again. All right, let's do just maybe, why don't we do these last 3 questions? Jacqueline, you want to jump on first?
Wait, what was my question again? Oh yeah, on the way to like your games, what was like your favorite song to hear?
Oh yeah, pump
To
up
cheer
song.
you up.
I like, Jack, I like really high-paced energy songs, okay?
Me too.
Something like that, as a dance song, anything that's popular at the time is really good. But I like, energetic music that makes me feel good, makes me feel happy. That's the kind of music I like to listen to on the way to the game or the tournament.
And I also have one more question. How don't know how to explain this, but how old were you when you like actually were proud of yourself for like the miles per hour how you pitched?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure. Probably not till I was older, because I didn't really focus on throwing hard. I just focused on like getting people out more so than focusing on like, hey, I throw 60. Like I was never like that. I just focused on like, oh, I got 3 strikeouts today. Yes.
Yeah, and also one more thing. What made you want to play softball?
I don't know, it's so fun and you can eat snacks at the same time. So and I really like Gatorade.
Thank you for answering my question.
You're welcome. All right, Miss Kennedy.
What's your favorite sports team? It could be like softball, baseball, football, basketball, like anything. Favorite sports team.
I like the Olympics. So does Team USA count?
Like, I would say like the Lions, Lakers, stuff like that.
Let's see. I don't really like follow teams necessarily. I follow just the sport. So I like to watch baseball. I like to watch hockey. And football, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you for answering my question.
Perfect. And Stevie, how about you to bring us home?
Like, what was your like daily like practice at home? Like mine would be like run 5 laps around the yard 2 times per day or something like that.
What was my practice at home?
Yeah.
I had one of those nets you could throw into.
Yeah, I have one of those too. Like a batting net.
Yeah, it's like a net. So when I was practicing my pitching, I had 1 bucket of balls and I would just like throw all the balls and try to get it into like a certain square. Like just focus on the square.
Yeah.
And I would throw until like all the balls were in there. So if I kept missing, I'd go run and pick up the ball, throw it again until it came in.
Yeah, that's what I do with batting too. I also have one more question.
Okay.
Like if you threw a bad pitch and it was a strike, or no, a ball, and it was like ball 4, how would you cheer yourself up?
I would just say, here you go, Mon, you got this.
In your head?
Yeah, or sometimes out loud. Or that I would say, you can, sometimes I say it in a different voice, so it's not my voice, like, you can do it.
Thank you for answering my question.
You're welcome. All right, Coach, you ready? Good?
Yeah, it looks like, could we get one more in here? Just Malia?
Yep.
Yep, last one, guys. Go ahead, Malia.
So when you first started pitching, what were like drills you can do? to get better?
I think the drills that your pitching coach tells you to do, you can focus on those. I do have like a drill library online. Like if any of you pitchers are interested, that's available on monicaabbott.com. But it's going to be hard for me to tell you a bunch of drills right now. So in a general aspect, I would say whatever your pitching coach is having you do in practice, do those at home. And then if you want some drills that I've done that have helped me be successful, or some programming, you can look on my website for that through the members site. There's a drill library and a pitching club as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, thank you, Monica, for your time tonight and joining us and answering all the questions for the girls.
Yeah, absolutely, girls. Thanks for having me. I hope you guys liked it. Abbott's A-List. I challenge you guys to fill out some of the pages so that you can start those steps, right? Like little wins daily. Go take something that's good and go make it great, okay?
Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.